knitty friends. I am Memers, and this is Hudson Valley Knits. Welcome. I am Memers on Ravelry, Memers66 on Instagram and Twitter, and my name's Amy. Welcome. I welcome new viewers, and of course I welcome back the people that have been watching for a while. Thank you for coming back. I am outside today. It's a little warmer today. It's like 36 degrees, and there's no cold wind, so I decided to come outside. I am at a park near where, it's kind of halfway between where I grew up and where I live now. It's called George's Island, and it's right on the Hudson River. It's a very foggy, gray day. I chose George's Island Park because it has picnic benches that I can sit on. And even though they're soaking wet, I put a blanket down so I won't get wet or cold. But usually, not today, but usually there's tons of eagles down here. Right behind me there would be tons of eagles on the ice that floats on the river. They sit on there, and sometimes they play, sometimes they just go fishing. They'll sit on the ice and they'll wait for a fish to go by and scap it up and sit on the ice and have a feast. But there's not many here today. I saw one, and that's it. So they're probably nearby at a different area, but not today. So if I can, I'm going to stop near where I live, Steamboat Dock. I've recorded there before. I bet you there's a ton there, so we'll check that out, and I'll see if I can get some footage. It's hard because they're usually out on the river, and they'll appear very small out there. Yeah, so I will try and get you some eagle footage at one point or another. I have a lot to talk about. So this episode is episode 36. I'm calling it Dye Day because my spinning group had their annual Dye Day, and what they do is it's open to lots of people, and they charge a small material fee, and they have it open dyeing, and they have people that come around and help you for people that have never dyed before. So they did full immersion, low immersion, which gives you a modeled kind of look, and they did painting. So Sandy and I did that, and we had a great time, so I have some stuff to show you there. Some news. So I wanted to talk about the 3 things I have going on, and one of them is the senior love-along. So there's kind of 2 parts to the senior love-along this year. One is I am still doing the washcloths for the seniors at the VA nursing home. And if you would like to knit some washcloths for the seniors, I will be posting a finished object thread, and there will be prizes just like last year for the senior love-along. But if you are up for a more serious commitment, I have a thread called Adopt a Senior in my Ravelry group. And what we're doing is I am going to be pairing you up. If you sign up for this, I will be pairing you up with a senior that you can write to, knit little gifts for, send cards to, send pictures to, and just interact with, because some of them, like I've pointed out before, don't have family that comes and visits, or most of the people that they know and love are gone now because they're very old there. I'm asking that that you sign up only if you are 100% committed. I don't want to take this lightly, and it is a serious commitment. The one thing I am asking, if you sign up for this, at the bare minimum, is that you send birthday cards and knit a gift for this person during the holiday season. So, and I'm asking for, I don't want to say substantial, but something meaningful for that person that you come up with after getting to know them somewhat. So I did mention last week that I was going to call Molly at the nursing home and inquire about her progress. She was going to get back to me with a list of residents that she thought could participate, and I did get back to her, and she called me back on Friday And what she said was that it was her last day working there. But she did give me the name of the person to talk to, and that she really encouraged me to pursue it because she thought it was a wonderful idea. And so it's a little bit of a setback, but I promise I will be following up with the new person that's covering her position until it's filled, and I will get back to you. I was hoping to get it going before Valentine's Day, because I thought that was a great opportunity to do a little something, but that's okay. We'll pick it up as soon as it's ready. But yeah, I just wanted to take it a step up. And please don't feel bad if you can't commit to it. There is always the washcloths. So it's whatever you can commit to. No, no pressure. No pressure at all. And the other thing I want to bring out is those two will both have their own set of prizes, and I'm planning on contributing prizes for the adopted senior that are significant. And I welcome donations for prizes as well. And like I said, if you are a shop owner and you'd like to promote your things, and you would like to give something special as a prize for either the adopted senior or the senior love along, I would love to hear from you. I am also doing, as for fun, I guess kind of like a contest, but I have a thread called 2015 goals, and it could be any fiber related goals: spinning, knitting, crocheting, weaving, whatever you do. And the goals are applicable to you. What is your goals for this year? There are some rules. For instance, it has to be at least 50 grams or 2 ounces worth to consider as a prize, as a entry for a prize. All the rules are in the thread. I encourage you to send up. You have till the end of February to finalize your goals for 2015. And if people sign up later than that, if you sign up before the end of the month and finalize your goals list by then, you can count any project that you finish this year towards your goals. If you sign up later than that, then it's still good, but you can't use anything prior to the date you put your goals list up on the thread. I figure this is a way that other people can join in, and at any time of the year, so we could grow, and I think it'll be fun, and I think it'll be good to encourage people to really stick to those goals and remember them. So I am going to also put my goals up there. I was looking at my list today, and I think I'm going to add a couple of more goals, like knitting from stash and that sort of thing, but I'm already on my way there, so I'm doing pretty good so far. So those are my announcements, and at the end I'll talk about the die day a little more. So let me show you my whips. I actually don't have that many. I only have 3 things. Actually, I have 4 things, but I didn't bring Mark's sweater. I did get some more work done on it, but it was just too much to carry down here by the river, so I left it home. I can put it in a picture at the end. But let me show you. I have a new whip. And there's not much to look at yet, but what it is it's a hat knit from a free Japanese pattern. And so I don't know the name, I haven't a clue. But this is a Maria from Subway Knits is doing, I don't know if she's calling it a beta class, but she has a little group set up. And she put together a really good introduction to reading Japanese knitting patterns. And it was really good. So to the people that signed up, she sent 2 lessons so far. There's a 3rd lesson she said that's coming that talks about the gauge. And again, this is a free pattern, so I can show it to you. So I've been, I've had to restart this numerous times. They don't, I'm using a bulky weight. It is, oh shoot, what is it? Hold on. It's Starry Night colorway. And come on, I know did I not put the bands in here? I guess not. It's, oh my goodness. I usually put the bands from my yarn in the bag with the product, but I must have not done that today. Well, it's the Dragonfly fibers in the Starry Night colorway. This is pretty much just the ribbing. I had to frog it. I had a couple, I was off by one stitch and I realized what I did wrong, so I had to back out again. I did finally get gauge, so I had to knit it a couple of times just to get gauge. But this has been a really great class, and I'm looking forward. I bet you I can finish this. Now that I know where, I think I'm good now. I'm ready to really kind of just knit the hat. I think I could get it done before the end of today. And I plan on doing that. But it was a big thank you to Maria from Subway Knits for doing this class. It was really helpful. She gives a lot of tips on how to read the Japanese patterns, and she gives some good online resources too. So if she does end up doing this as a online class, I recommend it highly. She was excellent. The material was well done, well presented, and it was very good. So hopefully next week I'll be showing you this as a finished object, and that's my Japanese pattern hat. Let's see what else we have. I've been working on another pair of socks, the Mash socks. It's a Hunter Hammerson sock, and I'm knitting these on size 2 signature needle DPNs, and I am knitting them with Jill Draper's Splendor sock yarn in the Fireside colorway. It's a beautiful colorway. Oops. Mashed is from her from Hunter Hammerson's Silk Road Socks book by Cooperative Press. You can see the beautiful patterning, and I really am enjoying it. It has a lot of twisted stitches and decorative things like that. A little bit, some yarn overs and some knitting 3 together, but it's really coming along. I'm on the end of the heel flap. I'll be turning the heel next. Love the yarn. I'm thinking now that I followed the pattern with the cuff, which, you know, was I think 16 repeats. I would have liked to have made it longer, and this is an extra large skein of sock yarn. I definitely could have. I have plenty left that I could have made this sock a little bigger, which is my preference. I like the socks a little longer, but it's okay. This sock yarn color is beautiful. It's pinks and reds and browns and kind of greenish brown. I don't know how to describe it. It's just lovely. Again, Jill Draper Splendor sock yarn. Highly recommend. Really, really nice. Nice twist. Lots of plies. I'm sure it'll be very sturdy. And I love Hunter Hammerson. I'll always recommend her patterns, but they're challenging. So, in my opinion, they are not usually simple. At least not the ones I've knit. So that is my other whip. Still on the first sock. What else we got here? Okay, let me bring this out. Oh no, this is kind of a finished object. So I have my ice shanty sweater with me. It is in my Amy Beth bag, Fat Squirrel bag. It's a sweater size bag with the gnomes. I love it. So this is awesome. I just love it. I finished one section in the front, and I'm writing down what section it is because there's a lot of pieces that will need to be knit together. And it's the colorway pewter. It's Miss Babs. I always forget the name of this yarn. Miss Babs Heartland yarn. Pewter. Isn't it beautiful? So this is the right neck piece. And the piece I'm working on now is the Let me show you how it's going to look. Isn't this gorgeous? I love it. It's from the Plucky Knitter Bundle Up pattern. It's just gorgeous. It's by Amy Miller, whom I had heard of, but not really seen much of. So I really love it. It's well written. This is one of the back pieces that I'm doing now. And it's good, mindless potato chip knitting. You can see I got a lot done since the last podcast, and I'll just move this now so we can measure my progress next time. But I am really looking forward to finishing this sweater. I love the yarn. It's so soft. It stretched out a lot when I blocked out the other piece, which was my swatch as well. But when it dried, it came back beautifully, and my gauge was perfect. So I had a little bit of a scare there, but it's all good. So this is going to be one of my sweaters for my sweater goals this year. And I think that's it with my whips. Now I have one kind of finished object. Let me show it to you now. Let me just take out my stuff so it doesn't get buried. Sorry. I just don't want any of my stuff to get dirty. I'm going to put my whips away. Because like I said, everything's wet here. And let's look at the one FO I have. It's not blocked yet. And it's a lace shawl. And this has been kind of heartache. So this is the Blight shawl by Oblivious Knits, aka Deborah Frank. I knit it out of homespun, which is another one of my goals, is to knit 2 projects from homespun. So here's one of them right here. And it was for an Instagram knit along. Now the pattern is wonderful. It's written well. But what happened to me is I played yarn chicken and I lost. So down here, this lighter aqua color here, that was the end of my homespun skein, and I still had like 6 rows to go. So my husband and I went through my stash and found this beautiful teal. It is actually Knit Picks palette. I have no idea what color it is. But it kind of went with the color theme beautifully. And I doubled it up because even though I kind of thought this was like a fingering weight, it really ended up being more of a DK, and the palette is very thin. And when I doubled it up, it did seem to match pretty much the thickness of the rest of the skein. And so I was happy until I ran out of the palette with 2 rows left. So I bound off in black. I had some black left from the circular shawl I did last year, one of Donna Dracunis's patterns. I forget the name, but I'm kind of disappointed with the black on the edge. And I was wanting to give this, I was thinking of giving this to my Aunt Nancy. And I don't know if I'm going to do it now because it's not perfect. I wanted to give her a special gift, and this being hand spun would have made it extra special. And the colors are gorgeous in this. This was a loop bullseye bump in the Mother Nature colorway. And God, the colors are gorgeous and I love it. But that black on the edge, I don't know if I really like it. And just had it, I don't know, it just looks like I just threw it in there. So I don't know. Well, I'm gonna I can't really block it out right now because I don't have my kitchen still. I'll go into a kitchen update at the end, but I've got no place to lay it flat and pin it out right now. So this is going to be unblocked until my kitchen's done, which should be just another week or 2. That's my one and only FO, except I have a spinning FO. Let me talk about my spinning. So I have been working on some on the round ponies on my Greenspan spindle. and I finished it. So I knit 3 singles, and I 3-plied them together. Oh, look at the fuzzies, because it's got Angora and Merino wool. Can you see the fuzzies? It is so beautifully soft. I'm kind of calling it dirty snow. Oh, it's starting to rain, guys, or actually snow. I'm calling it dirty snow, and there's a lot of dirty snow around me right now. So what I did with this, I learned a lot from this. The ponies were white, lighter gray, and then dark gray. And what I did is I spun all the white, and then I spun all the medium gray, and then I spun all the dark gray so that the whole skein would be a gradient. And what I noticed, to my dismay, was the white was the first color I spun, and it was spun beautifully, all right? Consistent, the thinness I wanted, and the medium a little better, still pretty good. But when I got to the dark gray, when I was plying this, I noticed there was a lot of inconsistency of the size of the plot of the single. There were a lot of little nubs still attached. In other words, it was pretty sloppy, and I acknowledge that, and I'm going to try harder to be patient when I'm spinning and be more consistent throughout. That being said, this was a very pleasurable spin. It is super soft and fluffy and squishy, and I can't wait to knit this up to a nice warm cowl. That's what it's going to be. The color reminds me of dirty snow, so I'm calling it dirty snow in my stash. And like I said, it was so much fun. And just so, I might have to like cut this short and leave because it's starting to, it's like ice, but it's starting to get heavy. And I don't want to get wet. So the other thing that's kind of almost done is I was working on my hedgehog fiber, Sparkly Merino. It was part of her club. It's a 3-month club. I signed up for the fiber and the sock yarn. And this was the first shipment, and I loved it so much I started spinning right away. But I'm going to 2-ply this. This is merino with sparkles, and it's gorgeous. I love the colors. It spun up pretty good. This was the second bobbin, and it seems like I have a lot more on this bobbin than on this one, but I did weigh them, and they both weighed the same, so it should be the same amount of fiber. I don't know, maybe this has just got more air in it, but this is beautifully soft. So I'm going to 2-ply this, and I'm thinking a pair of mittens. It's a little more than 4 ounces total, so this will be fun. So this next week you should see finished. And finally, I have been working on my gourmet stash ponies on my midi Bosworth spindle. And this is the colorway Broken Ornaments, and you can see it's got little bits of color. Those are sari silk. And it's got silk and bits of silk ribbon, and it is just purely luscious. It's mostly grayscale. I'll show you some of the ponies. I really love this. This was a Christmas treat. I kind of splurged on these with my allotted Christmas money. But it's really beautiful and soft, and I only have 2 ounces. I don't know what I'm possibly going to knit up with it, but I am thrilled with this. And gourmet stash is expensive. I don't know if I'll be buying any more of it anytime soon, but as a special treat once in a while, I think everyone should try some gourmet stash ponies. That's all I'm saying. So that's it with the spinning. Now, one object for stash enhancement is I joined the, I have to put this away, my notebook's getting wet. I joined the Socks That Rock Sock Club, and I got the first shipment. So here is Socks That Rock in the colorway Feeling Groovy. Isn't that fun? Pinks, purples, all psychedelic, orange, neon green. Ah. Now these are not my, you know who I keep thinking of? Silly Fro. And actually I wonder if I could use this for the rainbow along that Suburban Stitcher's doing. So I got this, it's the medium weight. It's 6 ounces. That's a lot. I also got some emergency. She threw in like a little extra. And as a little extra gift, it came with these 2 stitch markers. And I ordered more because I thought they were really cute. It's like elastic rubber band with a bead at the end. These are the small ones. Let me see how they're... I ordered larger ones and some more of the small ones. I like them. They were a little expensive, but we got a coupon with the yarn. So that is all I have to show you except my dyed yarn. So I'm calling this dye day because last weekend my spinning group did their annual dye day event, and that is where they, instead of spinning, they just set the whole room up for dyeing, and they have all the dyes, all the materials, and for a small material fee everyone can sign up. So I did 2 skeins, and they were selling recycled yarn, like white yarn from like secondhand thrift stores, and they unwound it and soaked it. So I just bought a couple of skeins. All they asked for was a donation. And this is a mixture of yellows and reds, and I put this in low immersion. This I loved. So this it was soaked in vinegar. This was recycled yarn. It's about 110 yards of worsted weight. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I really love the way the color came out. And so while this was soaking, I decided to try some painting. And the only reason I still have this is because I wanted to show it to you before I threw it away. This was beautiful before I put it in the steamer, but all of the color washed out, and I wonder if I didn't soak it in the vinegar long enough. I only left it in there for like a half an hour, but that's supposed to be orange, like a deep orange like in the other skein. This was a dark violet purple, and then this was a dark raspberry. But in the steamer, it all came out. When I rinsed it out, all the color came out with it, and even when I hung it drying, it was dripping colored water. So clearly it wasn't taking the dye, and I hate it now, and I should probably save it and over dye it or something, but I don't dye. I just did it because it was, all set up for us. And blech, I don't like it. But it was a great experience, and if I could, I would do more. I would dye, but I don't have the space, and my husband, being a chef, would probably never let me use the kitchen for dyeing. So that's that. So listen, guys, it's starting to rain a little heavy now, and you might be able to tell it's getting darker out. So I am going to say goodbye for now. It makes this a pretty quick. I wanted to talk more about the dye day, but maybe next week, all right? Because I gotta get out of the rain. I'll see you guys. Sorry, I'll get you some eagle footage, I promise. Bye-bye.